Hello YouTube fans, here again, and I figure why not do this one when it comes to the verses. That being Anna-Full from 2005 versus, or vice versa, than classic 1979 one. Now we all know the Anna-Full of horror was based on a book, and we all know it was based on a true story. And the reason why I made that funny noise is Rich Bits 2. Now, most remakes, I think are shit. I think they're garbage, but this one didn't really bother me, didn't really bug me, because the only two decent, and I will say this, the only two decent Annabelle films is the original classic 1979, The Annabelle of Horror, based on a true story, and Annabelle 2, The Possession. The third one I could watch for a time based off, but it's not a good film. It was that era when you had all the 3D gimmicks, like you had Doors, 3D. You had Friday the 13th Part 3 in 3D. You had all these 3D gimmick films and decided to toss in, trying to make a fan size with 3D gimmicks for Annabelle 3. Annabelle 4 though is a piece of shit. A doll's house. What possesses the house? Actually, it could be a lamp. Yeah, it's a lamp. I'm not making this shit up. A lamp. What possesses a house? Then you got the Annabelle doll's house. That's how I got confused. Possesses a house. Then you got Annabelle 1992. The more sequels were shit. They were shit. They were just tossing in on a name by a true story. I remember getting a naughty boy letter from YouTube. I won't go too much into the film, but Annabelle to The Possession was the last decent one they did. And the only bit I thought was a true story was the murders. We all know about the murders of the Buffaloes. That's the only bit I would say is a true story. But the rest of it was Mickey Mouse. Because there have been so many different versions of the family, what saying the house was haunted. There were so many different versions. The book describes it different. They describe it different. The movie describes it different. The remake describes it different. So which one is it? Which really happened? Which really happened? Which is two and which was bullshit? So the only bit I think is two is the murders. Now we go to 1979, the movie, not about the true story or the book and all this. When the movie come out, I do admit I loved the song, which is sort of used similar in Annabelle 2. You know that la 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 la, like a nursery rhyme. I think it was cheaper. I think it was nervy. It gave it a few knots, and a few good cheapy notes here and there. It was very unsettling. You have the ideas when bad's going to happen. When we got to the 2005 one, you used it in the trailer. I did on that. They used it in the trailer, but in all fairness, it weren't in the film, and I think it was a loss. I do like one thing about the 2005 one. It just shows the murders. It shows him watching TV, and the house shows him to do it. Again, Mickey Mouse never happened in real life, but it's a film. I went with it, and that's one thing I will give it one. But without that la la, that nursery vibe, wasn't the same. Now I know they tried to make it its own, but then we get to the house. The original house we used in the 79 one was very, very faithful to what the house looked like. The real one, I should say. The only difference is they had it right in areas and the real one was all black. I know now the house is joking, it looks different and people are living in it. And I like the way it looked in The Possession, but in this, the remake, if people think the third was shit, what's the fucking remake? The house is so over the top. It's unbelievable. It is so OTT. It's unbelievable. And now we get to the actors, Marta Ticker, Maisie Rest, The Priest, played by Rob Sider, and James Bolden. James Bolden is brilliant in the Annabelle. He is brilliant. He's friendly and nice and kind. And when he gets bad tempered, you feel the nerves. He's a guy you don't want to fuck with. He's definitely a guy with a bad temper. A lot of people said the one that played the dad in the remake sucks. And I've got to admit, he does. He either overacts, underacts, or he's just a pretty boy. It's just the one scene where he rips his shirt off, which is just an excuse to show his pretty fucking biceps. And to me, it sucks. Compared to, I just said his name, I'm going to forget his fucking name, James Bolden. James Bolden did a better performance. But I will the 2005 one its due. I'll give it its due. That's why I'm not ranting on it and saying it's shit. Because there are some bits I do think they improve a little bit on. The one side of character I like, right? I like the bit where he goes to presses the house and all the fires hit him in the face and you got that word, get out, and it shouts it loud, like, get out! Definitely made me jump out my skin the first time I saw it. But then he's in it all the way through the film. He's in it in one scene where the woman's going mental and he's there going, he's on the phone, it burns his hand, he's in the car goes ape shit, he's in it again, he goes blind, I'm blind. He's in it that many times, it takes you out of the movie. To me, I just felt this was just concentrated on the family. Voice actors, that scene, the fires attacking his face, the voice told him to get out. That was it, that's all they had to do. And then him down with the fest of the peace that the house is haunted and they ignore him. That's all they had to have him in that scene. The rest of it, I just felt dragged with him in it. None of the actor, no, he's no longer with us, may rest. But I just felt it dragged in the scenes when he was in it, and it went nowhere. It went nowhere. He went blind, and that was his story. One thing about this is you've got the priest. That is, he's a piece of wood compared to Roy Sider, but he does one scene. The fires attack him. Shitty CGI though. I've got to admit that looks shit, and the voice wasn't as scary. Get out. That was it. Get out. And that was it. And I think, is that it? But the rest of it does concentrate on the family more, so I will give it a point for that. The bit with the little girl on the fucking wall, I thought, do we really need to do that? I do like the bit with the babysitter though. Instead of being this nerdy one, like in the 79 one, she's this really fit, hot looking babes. The older lad's got the hots for her. But the only thing with this film is, and that being the 2005 one, is there's so many fucking jump scares. Your typical Tinelli haunted house film. Boo! How many fucking jump scares have they got to put in this fucking film? How many? Like the scene with the jumping shuts, nowhere near as cheapy, nowhere near as frightening. You got the little girl that got shot in the head by the older buffer. I get it, the pharaohs. And she's trying to fight down the stair, people. Do you get it? And she goes mental and has a nervous breakdown. That's some good bits, you know. The lad where he's going to have a pee and the ghost of this spirit stood there shaking near him. A bit that did make me shiver a bit when I first saw the amityville. And they do focuses on a guy who did witchcraft, did devil worshipping and all this. This is thing with the house, right? Some people say it was buried on an Indian burial ground. Some people say it used to be a mental asylum. And some people say it was a guy that worked with witchcraft. In the 2005 one, they do mention that a lot. And I think they did mention it a little bit in the Amityville, the possession. So that's one thing I will diff the 2005 Amityville something. In the 79 one, it gets mentioned a little bit that it used to be a mental asylum and all this, but not as much. I think it gets more mentioned in that one. So I will give it its due there. I will give it the film its due. But I do like the idea that, again, I mean, there are bits like I do prefer the ending of the 79 one because, you know, the famous bit where the blood's going down. I do admit that was bitty good, bitty cheaper. The 2005 one, I saw it in the pictures and someone said you could see that coming where the father accesses the fucking wife and then he's just seeing it, just like they sort of did in the original. But that was a nightmare scene, that was a lot more nerving. But that's what I mean with the 2005 one, it took me away, which is a true story. Was it all true? Was it all bullshittery? I do know the father is no longer with us, the real father of the Amityville had to sue the MGM when they did the 2005 one. But I thought it was funny, he was trashing in on the 79 one. Him and his wife when she was alive, may she rest. You know what I mean? They was trashing in on it. But then the 2005 one, he died to sue him because it didn't really happen. But to me, it was a film. I went with it. But it's one of them which is a true story now. There have been so many different versions. People say it was a mental asylum. Some people say it was an Indian burial town. Someone said it was devil worshipping. What made the house haunted? That's why the only bit I believe is the bit where the lad killed all his family. That's the only true story. We know that really happened. He died to breed insanity to get away from getting the electric chair. end of the film. That's the only bit I buy. It's a true story. You know what I mean? I'm not one of them that believes in ghosty roasties and all this and life after death. But for the film, I went with it. You know what I mean? I went with it, but I don't rant the 2005 one. There are some good bits in it. It's a bit over the top. I watched it in the cinema. I was a bit disappointed, but compared to most remakes, I don't rant on it. The 79 one, I still think it's a good film, but there are bits where it's didn't have to piecing it all the way through the film. It kind of dragged the film on a bit. But I like the fact it was more psychological. It wasn't boo-hoo jump scares like the fucking remake. I like on your typical boo-hoo jump scares. But after seeing all the sequels like Annabelle 3D, Annabelle fucking 4 with a fucking lamp on in a fucking house, Annabelle the Doll's House, Annabelle 92, they just went bad to worse. So the remake, that's probably why I didn't rant in it, because the sequels suck ass. But would I watch Annabelle the 2005 one again? Probably there's nothing on TV, but it's not one I'd watch again and again and again and again. But I don't rant on it, but it's not one I go mad on. But the 79 one, fuck it, it's a classic, I suppose. There are still some chilling bits in it. 8-star rating. The remake, a 2-star rating. I don't hate it, but I don't jerk off over it. It's average. It's average. But the original, because it's a classic, had good actors in it. An 8-star rating. But it's them. Be smart. Be safe. Boo. See you later.